21st, 26th verse. Gade sada dridau kshata kardamastena chodida yedodidam soduhritan pradhat vishwasrijam tadaha. Synonyms. Gade, after he departed, sada dridau, Lord Brahma, Sattaha, O Vidura, Kardama, Kardama Muni, Tena, by him, Chodida, ordered, Yada Udidam, as told. So Dudru, his own daughters, Pradad, handed over, Vishwasrijam, to the creators of the world's population, Tadaha, thereafter. Translation by His Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O Vidura, after the departure of Brahma, Kardama Muni, having been ordered by Brahma, handed over his 9 daughters as instructed to the 9 great sages who created the population of the world. We'll go, there is no purport, so we'll go to the next verses. Marijaye kalam pradhat anasuyam adatraye Shraddham angirase ayachat pulastya havurbhuvam ulahaya gadim yuktam Kadavecha kriyam shandim kyadim ja brahave ayachat vasishtya bhi arundadim. Synonyms. Marijaye, unto Mariji, Kalam, Kala, Pradhat, he handed over, Anasuya, Adha, then, Atraye, unto Atri, Shraddham, Shraddha, Angirase, unto Angira, Ayachat, he gave away, Pulastya, unto Pulastya, Avurbhuvam, Avurbhu, Pulahya, unto Pulaha, Gadim, Gadi, Yuktam, suitable, Kridave, unto Kridav, Cha, and Kriya, Kriya, Sadim, virtuous, Kyadim, Kyadi, Cha, and Bhrgave, unto Bhrigu, Ayachad, he gave away, Vasishtaya, unto the sage Vasishta, Abhi, also, Arundadim, Arundadim. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Kardama Muni handed over his daughter Kala to Marichi and another daughter Anasuya to Atri. He delivered Shraddha to Angira and Havurbhuvu to Pulastya. He delivered Gadi to Pulaha, the chaste Kriya to Krudav, Khyadi to Bhrigu, and Arundhati to Vasishta. 24th verse. Adarvane adachat chandim yaya yajno vidanyade viparasabhan kridodohan sadaran samalalaya. Synonyms. Adarvane, to Adarva. Adadhad, he gave away. Shandim, Shandi. Yaya, by whom. Yajna, sacrifice. Vidanyade, is performed. Vipra Rishabham, the foremost Brahmanas. Krida Udahan, married. Udwahan, married. Sadharan, with their wives. Samalalayat, maintained them. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. He delivered Shandi to Adharva. Because of Shandi, sacrificial ceremonies are well performed. Thus, he got the foremost Brahmanas married, and he maintained them along with their wives. 25th. Tadastarshya kshatta kridadhara nimantrayatam pradishta nandim apanaha swam asrama mandalam. Tada, then they, Rishaya, the sages, Shatta, O Vidura, Krudadaraha, thus married. Nimantraya, taking leave of. Tham, Kardama, Pradishtan, they departed. Nandim, joy. Apannaha, obtained. Somsam, each to his own. Asrama Mandalam, heritage, hermitage. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus married, the sages took leave of Kardama and departed full of joy, each for his own hermitage. O Vidura. 26th verse. Sa Chavitranam Triyugam Agnyaya Vibhudarsha Darsha Sabham Vivikta Upasangamya Pranamya Sambhashatha. Synonyms. Sa, the sage Kardama, Cha, and Avadirna, descended, Triyugam, Vishnu, Agnya, having understood, Vibhuda, Rishabham, the chief of the demigods, Vivikte, in a secluded place, Upasangamya, having approached, Pranamya, offering obeisances, Sambhashataha, he spoke. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. When Kardama Muni understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all the demigods, Vishnu, had descended, Kardama approached him in a secluded place, offered obeisances, and spoke as follows. Purport. Lord Vishnu is called Triyuga. He appears in the three yugas, Satya, Treda, and Dwapara. But in Kali Yuga, he does not appear. From the prayers of Prahlad Maharaja, however, we understand that he appears God as a devotee in Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya is that devotee. Krishna appeared in the form of a devotee, but although he never disclosed himself, Rupa Goswami could understand his identity, for the Lord cannot hide himself from a pure devotee. Rupa Goswami detected him when he offered his first obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. He knew that Lord Chaitanya was Krishna himself and therefore offered his obeisances with the following words. I offer my respects to Krishna, who has now appeared as Lord Chaitanya. This is also confirmed in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. In Kali Yuga, he does not directly appear, but he appears as a devotee. Vishnu is therefore known as Triyuga. Another explanation of Triyuga is that he has three pairs of divine attributes, namely power and affluence, piety and renown, and wisdom and dispassion. According to Sridhara Swami, his three pairs of opulences are complete riches, complete strength, complete fame, complete beauty, complete wisdom, and complete renunciation. There are different interpretations of Triyuga, but it is accepted by all learned scholars that Triyuga means Vishnu. When Kardama Muni understood that his son Kapila was Vishnu himself, he wanted to offer his obeisances. Therefore, when Kapila was alone, he offered his respects and expressed his mind as follows. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadandigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishaganidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindubhye Vacha Patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. We came to the stage where Kardama Muni handing over all his 9 daughters to the great sages. The context of this episode, this situation, is that Kardama Muni had 9 daughters, and they immediately grown, became youthful age. And then Kardama Muni was about to leave. Then Mother Devahudi requested, after you leave and after daughter is married away, then what would happen to me? The Kardama Muni understood the situation. Then Kardama Muni asked, the Supreme Lord promised to the great sage Kardama Muni that I would appear as your son. And Kardama Muni thought this is the time. Kardama Muni also prayed, meditated upon the Supreme Lord. And then Kardama Muni begotten the child in Devahudi's womb. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared in the mother in Devahudi's womb. And then all the demigods and Lord Brahma understood this. And in the previous verses, it is mentioned that Lord Brahma's another name is known as Hamsa. Hamsa means one who can grasp everything, understand everything, what is happening around. So Brahma could understand that this is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared as a son of Kapiladev, as in the womb of Mother Devahudi. Lord Brahma, along with all the great sages, especially known as Saptarishis and other sages, Lord Brahma appeared before Kardama Muni and offering the praise and obeisance to the Supreme Lord. In such a great reverence, such a great devotion, and Lord Brahma was glorifying the Supreme Lord to protect the devotees. You will always to impart the knowledge to Mother Devahudi. And Lord Brahma was saying that all this Sankhya Yoga, the numerical knowledge, will impart you about the Supreme Lord, about this all creation. So you are so fortunate. And then Brahma and all the other sages were offering the obeisance to the Supreme Lord. After this, Lord Brahma instructed Kardama Muni that you should hand over your daughters in marriage. So then all the great sages also came along, and these great sages were Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, Pulaha, Krithau, Bhrigu, Vasishta. There are so many, Daksha, there are so many great sages who were along with the Brahmadev. So Kardama Muni took that order as from his father. Kardama Muni was the son of Brahmadev, and took that instruction of his father. And that is also the duty of responsibility of a son to agree to follow the orders and instructions of his father. So here Kardama Muni, this is a situation where Kardama Muni handing over 9 daughters to the great sages. So in this section, Kardama Muni handed over the Anasuya to Marichi. And as it's mentioned here, Kardamani handed over his daughter Kala to Mariji, not Anasuya, Kala to Mariji. So, like that, and another daughter Anasuya to Atri. So these were the Sapta Rishis, great sages on that time. It is mentioned that they were living just below the Dhruvalok. That's their highest position. They were always in support to propagate the Krishna consciousness. They will always wander. They will go around and then propagate this Krishna consciousness to everywhere, to every people. So like that, the Kardama Muni handed over Kala to Mariji. And Mariji was a great rishi. And it says that on the Swayambhuva Manu, Mariji was the head of all these Sapta Rishis. And also we know that the great sage Kashyapa is also born from the son of Mariji. And as it says that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that among the Maruts, I am Mariji. It's mentioned that many places that these great sages are also the partial representation of the Supreme Lord. They manifested here as in order to propagate, in order to generate the living entities in this world. That's why they are known as Prajapatis. And also at the same time, they are the great sages. So there are so many beautiful pastimes along with these great sages. And, this amazing. And we know that in the Krishna Leela, the mother Devaki had 6 sons initially. So Kamsa killed them. They were originally the Mariji's son. So Mariji is actually born out of Brahmadev's mind. It is mentioned that Srila Prabhupada writes in a purport in such a way that Mariji born out of mind, the mind had 6 sons. So then later they became the sons of Devaki, and there was a curse by the sages and even by the Brahma that they would take as demons, as the sons of the demon. So also Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that these 6 sons were the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Malsarya, the demoniac nature they have. So this is also born out of the mind. Mariji was born from the mind of Brahma. From the mind, this all manifest. And then they became the sons of Devaki, but immediately after they took birth, that's called the Garbhasuras. They were known as Garbhasuras. So these 6 anarthas which we have is also known as Garbhasuras, this born out of mind. And then one has to kill all of them. Then Krishna appears. So like that, Mariji was a great saint. And also then Kashyapa Muni was the great son. We know that, all these many types of living entities manifested from Kashyapa, sage Kashyapa. Even the Devas, even Asuras manifested from Kashyapa. Even Mariji was the grandfather of the sun god. And because of the sun god was also the son of Kashyapa Muni. So like that, there are great sages. They were always there throughout the lifetimes of the Brahma. And they always, in order to propagate this Krishna consciousness, they're always there. Then we saw that Kardama Muni handed over Anasuya to Atri. So we know that sage Atri, is also born from the tears of Brahmadev. So when Atri was born, then later became a great sage, and then there are great other devotees manifested from Atri sage. Nanasuya is a great good wife of Atri, then once handed over. Then they had three sons. We know that many times the sun, the Soma, the moon god is actually manifested, born out of Anasuya and Atri. Dattatreya was born out of sage Anasuya and Atri, and also Durvasa, sage Durvasa was also the son of sage Atri and Anasuya. So like that, then Pulastya, then Gadi was handed over to Pulastya. So the Saptarishis are like that: Marichi, Atri, Pulastya, Pulaha, and Krithau, and Angiras. Like that. They were the great sages, and it's called generally known as Saptarishis. They are great potencies. And also there was 10 sons of Brahma. Then also Narada Muni was one of them. And here, when they are about to get married, Brahmadev and the 4 sons and Narada Muni, they departed from there because of they are the great Naishtika Brahmacharis, especially for Kumaras and Narada. So these other brothers of Narada Dev and for Kumaras, they are getting married here, the daughters of Kardama. So there are these all sages were manifested from the different parts of the body. So sage Pulastya is manifested from the ears of the Brahmadev, and there are great lineage of also that Pulastya, and pretty much we know that the Visravas was the father of Kubera, and we know that all those great sages and great personalities, and we know that Kriya is handed over to Krithau, and Krithau is also, then they begotten 60,000 great sages, 60,000 great sages from the Krithau and Kriya. And Kriya is mentioned that very much active Kriya. In order to do anything, the Kriya, the potency, Kriya Shakti, Kriya is there, and this also represents various aspects of the that our activities as well. So also then the Bhrigu, and there are sages like that, and they deliver to Khyadi is delivered to handed over to Bhrigu. And we also know that Arundhati to Vasishta. We know that the sage Vasishta and Vishwamitra. Vasishta was a great sage, and by nature, by this wonderful penance, as considered as Brahmana. Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya, and we know that there conflict between Vasishta and Vishwamitra, and they had this conflict for many, many thousands of years. But then finally, Vishwamitra also, by the penance, Vishwamitra became a great sage. We know that Vasishta was the priest of Sri Lord Ramachandra Bhagavan in the assembly of the Lord Sri Ramachandra and Dasharatha and this entire the Surya Vamsha. Vasishta was the family priest, the guru of the Surya Vamsha. We know that the Bhrigu, the Khyadi, is married to Bhrigu. Bhrigu, also known as a great devotee, great personality. So we know that there is a wonderful pastimes that Bhrigu had. All the Brahmanas wanted to know who is the greatest deity, who is the greatest personality among the Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. So they requested Bhrigu to find out who is the greatest personality. So then Bhrigu then tried to find out. Bhrigu went first to his father's abode, Lord Brahma's abode. There, Bhrigu started to offend Bhrigu's father, Lord Brahma. So, and you're like that, you don't do anything. Listen, just to give some mentally, the Bhrigu was offending Brahmadev. Brahmadev became very angry, and Bhrigu left from there. And then Bhrigu came to his brother, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also considered as born out of Brahma. And then Bhrigu went there, and Bhrigu started to offend verbally. You're always putting the dust from the smashan, you are unclean, you are always carrying the snakes. Lord Shiva became so angry and about to open his third eye and to give some punishment. Then Bhrigu ran from there. And then Bhrigu then came to the abode of Lord Vishnu, Vaikuntha. There, Lord Vishnu was lying down on the recliner of Ananda Shesh. Then Mother Lakshmi was also serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And here Bhrigu was offending physically. And all these offenses happened. And Sage Bhrigu came and then kicked on the chest of Lord Vishnu. Kicked on the chest of Lord Vishnu. Here Lord Vishnu then was tried to catch hold of Sage Bhrigu's feet and started to massage. And Lord Vishnu told to Bhrigudev that, Sage Bhrigu that, O sage, O Maharishi, my heart is very hard. I know that just when you put your chest on, and my chest is now became so purified. And let me massage your feet because of my heart is so hard, and was pacifying Bhrigu like this. Lakshmi Devi didn't like that. Lakshmi Devi just left from there, seeing this. But Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, was even and understood that is a devotee of the Lord, understood the heart of the devotee of the Lord. Then the Bhrigu and Lord was very consoling the Bhrigu. And Sage Bhrigu could understand that who is the greatest personality, and declared that out of all, the Supreme Lord is the greatest personality. The Supreme Lord Vishnu is the greatest personality, deity of all other, two other, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. That's why we can see that if you have a deity, then in their chest there is a feet mark. That feet mark is actually considered as the feet of the devotee, the Bhrigu. So like that, the great sages, they were handed over to different other sages. And Shanti to Adharva, we know that the Veda Adharva is named after Adharva, the sage Adharva. And also most of the sacrifices are mentioned Adharva. And that's why the Shanti is married to Adharva. And because of the presence of Shanti, that all the sacrifices are well performed. So like this, Kardamuni handed over all these great sages to great daughters, all these daughters to great other, different sages. So then they all left. Then here, Kardamuni was seeing that, understanding that the Supreme Lord manifested as his son. Kardamuni also left. And Kardamuni now started to pray and started to talk to the Supreme Lord and worship the Supreme Lord. And this is called Sambhashan. In a secluded place, Kardamuni went there and started to meditate upon the Supreme Lord and started to talk to the Supreme Lord. Dear devotees, this is all possible when such a devotion one has. They can directly conversate with the Supreme Lord, and many devotees had in the past, they do. And Tukaram Maharaj was one time talking to the Supreme Lord. Mirabai was talking to the Supreme Lord. Villamangala Thakur was talking to the Supreme Lord. There was a devotee in Varadaraja Perumal temple, is known as Kanchipurna. Every day Kanchipurna was talking to the Supreme because of their complete, they are on the spiritual plane, completely devoid of all their senses, mind, intelligence, bodily, all things out of it. They completely came out from the impurities. They are completely focused and determined to serve the Supreme Lord. In that condition, everybody can talk to the Supreme Lord and see the Supreme Lord. So here, the Kardamuni was talking to the Supreme Lord, Sambhashana, in complete meditation. And here, 3 yugas, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that, is known as Vishnu. So Kardamuni was talking to the Vishnu. So this is the situation. So I'll stop here. Thank you so much for being there with very auspicious day of hearing these beautiful pastimes of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vandiraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Simeshwara, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. Very auspicious day. Last day of Adhik Mas, Pushottam Mas. We have every evening celebration for Adhik Mas from 8:30 to 9. If you'd like to join for Jagannathakam, and please come to the temple. And celebrate this auspicious day. And as Simeshwar Prabhu mentioned, whatever charity you want to give, you can give for the pleasure of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar, Shri Jagannath Pale Subhadra, Shri Gauranitai. We like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama, Hare Hare.
Ram.
Shri Narsingho, Jai Narsingho, Jai Jai Narsingho, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Bringam, Ugra Vida Mahavishnu, Durantam Sarvato Mukham Narsinghambi, Sharam Bhadram, Mithya Mityam Namami. Narsingh Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samar Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu vacha patitanam Vaishnavebhyo namaha. Vaishnavinda ki Jai, Granthiraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.
Thank you, Sumeshwar Prabhu.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.